being very animated, but we didn't hear anything.
Yeah.
So they heard Susan. They heard Susan, though. So that was good. It was Mary didn't have her button turned on, and she does have it turned on right now, so that's a good thing. So we welcome you. And at the very front of our program is our mission statement that we always read together, and that is, we are a loving spiritual community that honors your presence, nurtures your joyful self-expression, and empowers your spiritual growth. Now, do you believe that?
Yes.
Well, that is a good thing to believe because we're knowing today, I guess Nora pointed out that it's Flag Day today. So Cecilia, we're welcoming Cecilia back. She wasn't feeling well last week. And we're welcoming Lainey back, who's been gone for a while. So all good things are getting in their place, aren't they? And everybody else that's not here, they're here in spirit. That's what we're going to know. So we're going to open with our affirmation, which is on the left-hand side of your page, and that is, today and every day, I expect the best. Wonderful things are happening to and through me now. Everything I do turns into good for myself and others. I have divine right to be the best, and I expect nothing but the best. It produces remarkable good for myself and others. I claim it now. All is well in my world. And now we're going to stand and sing our grateful song and be ready for our congregation song. Grateful for the morning, grateful for the sunlight in my face, grateful for the feeling, grateful for the knowing, grateful for the love that's in this place, grateful for believing that God is all there is. Yes, God is all there is. For the morning, grateful for the sunlight on my face, grateful for the feeling, grateful for the knowing, grateful for the love that's in this place, grateful for believing that God is all there is. Yes, God is all there is. God is all there is. Yay! Grateful. What a great way to start the day, right? Being grateful for. And now it's the time of our announcements. And as most of you know, today is our annual meeting. We're going to have that right after lunch, and it's going to be right in here. I'm glad to see Robert fanning himself because I'm like, am I having my own personal summer, or is it like roasty humid in here? It's just kind of an odd. Yeah, it might be a good idea. Yeah. All our hot bodies are generating this vibe, you know. Does somebody want to help Nancy by closing the doors? Okay, thank you, Maria. Okay, so here we go. So our annual meeting is today. It's going to be right after lunch. It's going to be about 12 o'clock-ish. I like the ish part because that covers everything. So maybe around 12:15. And it's going to be right here. Remembering that I don't think we have any votes that are going on, but if you needed to vote, you have to be a member. But all are welcome. And we're just going to discuss an overview of what happened in 2025 and the financials and all the good events that happened, etc. There we go. Dennis and Pinocchio are back from Japan. They've been back for quite a while, but they're going to have a sound bath on June 20th from 1 to 2 p.m. right here in the sanctuary. The cost is $25, and they will also be coming in July. But we'll see you here from 1 to 2. And how many have partaken in the sound bath here? It's really wonderful. So, and they're just such wonderfully spiritual people. It's a great vibe. So come and immerse yourself in that beauty. Movie night will be June 26th from 6 to 8 p.m. in the sanctuary. There's going to be refreshments afterwards. The movie is, I don't know if any of you have ever seen this, but this is where my gut told me to go. So I put it in, and if there's, ideas, we'll go. It's called The Secret Dare to Dream. Has anybody ever seen that? It's with Katie Holmes and Josh Lucas. It's a really great movie, isn't it? It's June 26th, Friday. It's a Friday night here from 6 to 8. And I got to tell you, it's all about, applying this teaching in an interesting way. She's a single mom that's dealing with stuff, and this guy just happens along that helps her and helps her think differently, which is really fascinating. So it's going to be a great movie. Ongoing events are the choir practices every Monday from 4 until 5:30 p.m., and that's here in the sanctuary, and all singers are welcome. I was talking to Michelle last night, and guess what we're thinking? We were talking about naming the choir. What do you think of the Happy Notes?
That's cute.
The Happy Notes choir. Doesn't that sound? That sounds happy. She's like, hey, let's do that. I'm like, there we go. So if you want to join the choir, you're welcome to. How many are in the choir? I know Julia is. I know Susan is. I know Kathy Craig is technically in it because she's the piano player. So there you go. But there's a lot of people. So it's good to know. And they're going to be performing again the first week of July in celebration of July 4th. The Zoom discussion group is ongoing, and that's with Susan via Zoom. And if you're interested, they discuss a Science of Mind magazine articles. And if you're interested, see Susan. Susan, raise your paw, please. Thank you. And if you see her, and she'll give you the Zoom link, and you can participate, because they talk about some great things. The Gentle Stretch class is ongoing on Fridays from 10 to 11 in Chafee Hall, and cost is $10. And every Sunday at 9 a.m., we discuss the Science of Mind book. We go over it, we read a couple paragraphs and talk about the concepts. And then there's a meditation afterwards. And then after service, right in the front here, we have a prayer circle today. It's going to be led by our prac on duty, which is Lainey Clevenger. And what we do is we go in a circle and we do a prayer, put out a word for what we would like prayer for, and we get into this one conscious mind of knowing, and all great things happen. I want to thank all the volunteers who are all fabulous. And before we have our meditation song, I think we need to sing happy birthday. There are a lot of June birthdays. We missed our little buddy back here, Lauren. Her birthday was the 5th. Patty Orlin, her birthday was the 9th. Carolyn Young, who we tried to sing to, but our sound wasn't going, was the 7th. And Myrna is the 28th. Yes, indeed. And so is Fred Tesno. So how about on the count of 3, we're going to sing happy birthday, okay? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lauren and Patty and Carolyn and Fred and Myrna. Happy birthday to you. Now I see Patty going that way. We may have to really give her a birthday wish when she comes in the door. So, okay, and now we are going to have our meditation song.
Mary?
Yes, ma'am.
In the announcements, did you want to discuss the barbecue so people have a little notice and can invite their friends? Just the date, even the date?
Take it away.
July 11th.
It's July 11th, so it's a month away. We're going to have a barbecue on July 11th, which is a Saturday. It's the Saturday after the 4th of July. There were some conflicts on the 3rd. We didn't want to do it on the 4th, so we thought, well, it's the 250th anniversary, so guess what? We can celebrate all month if we want to.
We'll celebrate all year.
Yeah, we can even have wrestling if we wanted. Oh, I cracked myself up. We could do arm wrestling. That's what we talked about. We talked about having arm wrestling. Not a chance. Not a chance. Let's see. So we're going to have that, and that's going to be from like 4 until 7 or 7:30, and it's going to be in Chafee Hall, and we're going to have, hot dogs, hamburgers, not spaghetti and meatballs like the other cartoon says, but it's hot dogs and hamburgers and salads and fun, and of course our 50-50 and all that stuff. But again, it's July 11th, and we'll have more information about it coming up.
Is it still going to be $25?
It is $25, yeah.
Which is reasonable for a wonderful meal and entertainment. I mean,
She is a saleswoman. I'm telling you, it's in her blood. It's in her blood. Thank you, Nora. Woohoo! Okay. All righty. Thank you. And now we're going to have our meditation song. God is all there is. with the Spirit, I realize the truth, and I speak it. I am thankful for it all. I release it, I let it go, and so it is, and so it is. I know it is, and I receive as I believe. Amen. 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 Before our practitioner begins, I forgot to mention the menu, which is dynamite. Not literally, but it is wonderful. Green salad, herb chicken, roasted onion potatoes, green beans, and berry truffle. Yum, by Naomi. Thank you, Naomi. Okay. And now our practitioner on duty.
Mary,
Welcome back,
Yes.
ladies.
are you going to do anything with this today, or can I read that for the invocation?
Oh, no, go ahead, Kat. And there's Patty. Should we sing a separate happy birthday to Patty?
Sure.
I think so. One, she was out over next door when we were singing. So here you go. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Patty. Happy birthday to you. And many more.
That's what you get for coming in late. Your own personal birthday song. Before I start with the invocation, I want to do a testimony. Bart did his testimony, so it's my turn. I was so prayed up before my surgery. I delayed it a year because I was still anxious about it, but I was absolutely so prayed up that I had no qualms, no anxiety, no nothing. Because when I saw the surgeon before the surgery, he said, well, you pray and I'll pray and God will take care of it. That's how it started. So, and when he came back after the surgery, he said it went better than I expected. I said, well, you know why? He said, because God was there. So it was, prayer really works. And when you get into that space fully, you can feel it. I mean, I was so elevated that I was almost euphoric for a good week. I wanted to contribute it to the anesthesia, which I thought was kind of nice. But I think God was in there too. So thank you for your prayers and your support. I enjoyed the time off, but I'm glad to be back with everybody.
We're glad you're back, too.
Thank you. Thank you. Yep, it's my other home. So I want to share, it's in your brochure, but I want to read this prayer for our invocation because it's a very nice prayer. Thank you, Mary. So close your eyes and just get comfortable and take in that nice God breath, that breath that sustains us, every one of us, every time, with every breath, with every heartbeat. It is that God energy. And we know it is love. We know that it is peace and joy. And so let this be your prayer. Dear God, I am centered in your presence and power. Nothing can disturb me or dismay me. In the darkness, your light shines. In the midst of uncertainty, your light reveals the way. Take a breath. Dear God, I am centered in your love. I feel warmed and comforted. Centered in your love, I look at the world with eyes of love. I express love. I draw loving and happy experiences to myself. Breathe those words in. Dear God, I am centered in your strength. No hurt or unhappiness can stay with me. Centered in your strength, I am lifted out of sadness. I am set free from fear. Strength fills me and joy overflows me. And take a breath. Dear God, I am centered in your life. Every part of my body feels the touch of your healing life. Centered in your life, I feel quickened and restored. I feel the infeeling of your changeless eternal life. I am healed through and through. And so it is. It's beautiful. So good old 365, I'm going to read from 365. Mary's talk is about the frequency of success, in that frequency. And everything is frequency. We're not just talking about success as far as finances, but it's success in your health, success in your relationships, success in everything that you do. And he titles this, I demonstrate through the perfect law. All laws are laws of God. Whatever reality is, its nature is one. If I wish to demonstrate my good, I must faithfully and fervently declare that the law of the Lord is perfect, and that this law is operating in my experience now. I believe that it is the nature of thought to externalize itself, to bring about conditions that actually correspond to the thought. Therefore, I turn resolutely from every sense of lack, want, and limitation, knowing that even though I am dealing with an invisible principle, the perfection of spirit will be manifest in my experience. Today I declare that the law of the Lord is perfect in everything I do. It will externalize happiness. It will bring every good thing to me. Today I am inwardly aware that there is a secret way to the soul. There is a secret pathway of peace. There is an invisible presence forever externalizing itself for me and through me. I believe in divine guidance. Today, I believe that underneath are the everlasting arms. Today, I rest in this divine assurance and this divine security. I know that not only is all well with my soul, my spirit, and my mind, but all is well with my affairs. And so it is.
And now we have our guest artist, Cecilia. We welcome you back, Cecilia. I'm going to put this right here. Okay. There you go. Good morning. Good morning. Good to be back and feeling good. Yes. Thanks for the prayers.
I'm checking my blue light. Blue light special. There you go. That's what I first thought of. I guess that's a Kmart thing, isn't it? It's the blue light special. All right, good morning, everyone. I kind of scratched my head. Lainey asked me and said, what's your talk topic? I'm like, oh, heck, I don't even remember. I made it so long ago. And then I went, oh, in the frequency of success. I'm like, what was I thinking? Guess what? Last week, actually 2 weeks ago, we talked about practicing mindfulness. I don't know if you remember, but that's what we talked about. And then last week, we talked about divine right action and how the two are interwoven together, that practicing mindfulness is a getting into the state of being open and aware of the goodness and the godness in our own life and who and whose we are, right? And divine right action was more like a spiritual and a philosophical concept, but it was basically about releasing the need to be in control of everything and trusting in a power that's greater than we are and allowing it to lead us via our intuition, which intuition is basically the voice of God, and letting that lead us into maybe divine right action in our own life whenever we're faced with something or a challenge, or even just when we wake up in the morning, like I am guided and directed by a divine. How many meditate in the morning? Or say at least affirmations and read a prayer or something. You're setting the tone. When you do that, you set the tone for how your day's gonna go. And even if it starts to go south, you can stop yourself and say, all right, what's going on? What's happening? What are you feeling? Where are you out of sorts? And let it go. Dial into it and say, what triggered that in me that I can let go of, right? So we're living in accordance with our own divine nature when we're in that state of allowing divine right action. And I always love to quote my dear friend, Reverend Martha, who's in San Antonio, Texas now in a home that doesn't have all of her mental faculties. But I talked to her the other day because it was her birthday in May. We talked a little later and she was like, oh, I know, God, you do it. God, you do it. And they're all amazed at her. She's just, and her thing is, God, you do it. Now, I don't know about you, but when you were in a pickle last time, did you say, God, you do it? You said, no, I got to figure it out. I got to roll up my sleeves. I got to get this and why that person and then, and you get all in a tizzy about things. But the idea is to just be calm, get centered and take a breath and just say, you know what? God is in charge here and God is divinely guiding me to my right thing. It remains open for us when we say we're in divine right action and allowing it to happen. We let go of the need to control something then. And the moment we let go of the need to control, did anybody ever watch the movie Shaka Zulu? No? Okay, well, it was a long time ago, but at any rate, he tells a story about a monkey that wants a treat, and he drops the treat in a bottle, and the monkey can get his arm in the bottle and grab the treat, but once he's made the fist, he can't get his hand out of the bottle. And so the idea is he has to let the treat go and tip the bottle upside down. But it's counterintuitive to how he wants to grab it and get it. So it torments the daylights out of the monkey because he can't get the treat. So he keeps putting his hand in and trying the same. Now we laugh about that. We do the same thing. We do the same thing. We have old behaviors and think, oh, I'm going to make this work. It's going to work this time by divine determination. I'm going to make this stuff work. But guess what? We have to learn to step back and allow something new to come in. So how do you get beyond limited thinking? How do we get beyond limited thinking? How do we take ourselves out of the thinking that got us into the pickle that we're in and get up here? How do we do that? It becomes a matter of shifting our thinking and our feeling about what you've come to believe about a limiting thought. Ugh, what does that mean? Change your thinking, right? But it isn't just changing your thinking. So we each have a particular assessment about reality, don't we? We each see the world the way it is. And our way is the way we see the world. And so we operate based on how we see the world. Not how you see the world, but how I see the world. And then we tend to gravitate towards people that see the world the way we see the world. That's how spiritual communities are built even. But that's how our friendships are built. That's how our jobs are built. We see the world in the same way. However, we pick up stuff in our environment that we've learned from others, don't we? We've learned it from our parents, we've learned it from our friends, we've learned it from school, from books, from the news, from whatever. We've learned how to respond to life according to everything that's out there telling us how things are. But this teaching reminds us, go inside, go inside. Don't come from the problem, come from the solution. And it's such a different way of operating in life that it's almost, you're going to meet people that are going, you're nuts. You got to deal with it this way, and this is how you do it. But no, this teaching says, step back. Come from peace. Come from peace. Come from letting go. Release. I know in my former life, I used to do rafting in rapids. And the friends that I was with were basically crazy. They were crazy. And we went down these outrageous rapids that we had no business going down. And we had these little rafts. I mean, we're not talking like the big ones on the Colorado River. We had the little 4-manners that were only about 6 feet long. And we went through these rapids that were scary as daylight. Now, the trick is when you get caught in the swirl, which is called the eddy, and you're wearing a life jacket, guess what they tell you to do? You take off your life jacket. I'm like, what? That's the thing that's going to keep me afloat. They're like, nope, you take off your life jacket. And why does that happen? Because the life jacket keeps you on the surface and it keeps churning you around in the thing. When you take the life jacket off, you can swim under the conflict, the spin, and get out. And I'm like, that ain't working for me. I'm like, I'm not letting go. Well, guess what? You have to. You have to if you're going to get stuck in an eddy. And that's going to be the first thing that they train you to do, true. I mean, we found it out purely by accident, but there you go. Our experience in our conscious reality is something we know because we've experienced it on a personal level. So think about swimming. So you can go out and swim, right? But you swim because you learned how to swim. Now, you don't learn how to swim just by watching somebody or by the instructor telling you what to do. How do you learn how to swim? You jump in the water and figure it out, right? And you apply whatever it is that you've learned. But sometimes we want to, that's how we learned things. And so the things that we've learned by experience. So they become our experience, and that's from which we live. That's where we live from because we know it. We know it to be true. But there's a big difference between knowing about something and knowing something, right? So you can know all about swimming, but you're only going to know swimming when you get in the water, right? It's like you can know all about God. We can read all the books. We can go to all the seminars. We can do all the study. We can do everything. But knowing God is a personal thing. It's about going within. It's about getting silent and spending that time in that upper consciousness, in that allowance, in that meditative state. Just like you can know about a possibility that you can heal, like Lainey was talking about, that she literally felt prayed up. You can know about a possibility of healing, and I bet everybody here in this room knows somebody that healed from something that seemed impossible. True? Right, but guess what? You only really know it when you experience it yourself. Like I bet Lainey's a different person now that she's been there, done that. Do you know what I mean? So it's the difference of experience versus knowing, and knowing about something. So what is it then? Does the environment control our body or what happens? Or do we, our thinking, control our environment? Big question, isn't it? And the truth of it is, it's actually our thinking controls our environment. But we have not been trained that way, have we? We've been trained to say everything out there is going to determine, even the stuff I experience is going to determine the way that I respond to things. Until you make conscious contact with the God source within, that divine presence that is at the very essence of your being, you will never know God. You will know about God, but you won't know God. And everybody here that's had an experience about God, it's because they actually had a conscious connection feeling with something that happened. I'm going to read you a funny little poem. It's called The Cookie Thief. A woman was waiting at an airport one night with several long hours before her flight. She hunted for a book in the airport shop and bought a bag of cookies and found a place to drop. She was engrossed in her book, but happened to see the man sitting beside her, as bold as he could be, grabbed a cookie or two from the bag she had in between, which she tried to ignore and avoid a scene. She munched the cookies and watched the clock as the gutsy cookie thief diminished her stock. She was getting more irritated as the minutes ticked by, thinking, if I wasn't so nice, boy, I'd blacken his eye. With each cookie she took, he took one too. When only one was left, she wondered what he would do. With a smile on his face and a nervous laugh, he took the last cookie and broke it in half. He offered her half as he ate the other. She snatched it from him and thought, ooh, brother, this guy has some nerve, and he's also very rude. Why, he didn't even show any gratitude. She never had known how galled she would be, and sighed with release when her flight was called. She gathered her belongings and headed to the gate and refused to look back at the thieving ingrate. She boarded the plane and sank in her seat, and she sought her book that was almost complete. As she reached in her baggage, she gasped with surprise. There was the bag of cookies she had purchased in front of her eyes. If mine are here, she moaned in despair, the others were his, and he tried to share. Too late to apologize, she realized in grief, she was the rude one, the ingrate, the thief. Isn't that interesting? And couldn't you just see yourself doing that? Couldn't you just like, why I oughta, and she's trying to be polite and be nice, and then all of a sudden she realizes, oh, those weren't my cookies, and I ate all of his. And she never looked back, never said a word, and the guy never said a word. Oh my goodness, isn't that an amazing lesson? So knowing confronts a belief and limitation. When we know something, see, now she knows. She was the cookie thief and didn't even realize it, but now she knows. Now she'll pay more attention, won't she? She'll be more mindful. And doesn't it only take one thing to make us mindful? So, heck, I'm going to go. So, being in divine right action, being in a frequency of success is actually a mystical experience, but it's not anything otherworldly other than getting into who you are and who you came here to be and your divine purpose. Wayne Dyer suggests, how about being kind rather than being right? Wouldn't that have been interesting with that woman if she had kind of went, oh, you know what, just a cookie, let's share them, and she wouldn't have gotten all verklempt about it. But what about that in every situation that we're faced with? So if you believe in the idea that the way you think has some idea on your life, do you? The way you think has an impact on your life? Are you aware that you're consciously creating your ideal life every moment? Every moment we're consciously creating our experience and what we can determine. We can see something as awful, but Joe Dispenza will tell you that the reason you don't have the ideal life that you desire and spend time consciously creating the ideal is because at some level you don't believe it can be. Isn't that interesting? At some level you don't believe that you can create something. You believe other people can create it and you can read stories about stuff, but you don't believe it for yourself. So that getting into the mindfulness practice is more about understanding I'm in charge of my life. And that being in charge of my life is my God self, my higher self, guiding me to the right answers, to the right solutions and things. Our brains are organized to reflect everything that we know is our truth. So see, the woman looking at the cookie thief, she believed her truth, didn't she? Why that guy taking all my cookies, right? She believed it. And as a result, she probably had all kinds of physical reactions. She was cranky. She got on the plane. She wanted to get away from this guy. As you do the same things and go with the same people and go with the same thoughts and read the same things, what happens? Your life stays the same. Here comes some folks. Your life stays the same. But if you want to change, right, you have to change your thinking. You have to change the way you see things, right? Think from already knowing your divine self. To change is to think greater than your environment, greater than the things out there that are talking about who you are and what's going on in life. Every great thinker has done this, thinking greater than their environment. Every great invention that's ever happened, people thought beyond the limits. Think about the Wright brothers and creating the plane, creating the TV set. Think about SpaceX. Think about everything that's created that's beyond our normal paradigm of thinking. And what's happened is they were willing to open their minds to something new. Now, they didn't go to God and go, yeah, but I'm limited. I've only got so much money. I've only got so much time, blah, 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 right? No, they absolutely sought out beyond it, even before it existed. They put themselves in the frequency of success, of a successful thought, of a successful lifestyle, of a successful idea or conception. Can you believe in a future that you can't see or experience right now with your senses, but you thought about it enough times that when your brain is literally changed to look like the event has already happened? Can you do that? Because that's what prayer asks us to do. Our prayer is an affirmative prayer that says, see beyond the apparent limitation and see into the answer. Now, unfortunately, many of us don't shift our thinking until we're faced with a crisis. We get a health challenge. We get a financial challenge. We get a relationship breakup. We have something awful happen in our life. Then we want to change our thinking, right? And we go, oh, yikes, forgetting that at every moment we've been in charge of our life. We've been in charge of our life at every time. It's about thinking beyond the events that are in front of you and seeing beyond it into something new. Joe Dispenza, he's a neuroscientist, and I just love him. He's got an awesome book called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. Fabulous book. Neuroscience believes it's absolutely possible to think into a situation to create it better than it. Lainey's our living proof right here and now of how everything went successfully. And, she was on a liquid diet for I don't even know how many weeks. I'm like, aren't you starving? She's like, no. And I thought, oh my gosh, what is it that we tell ourselves, right? Again, is it the body that creates the environment or the environment that creates the body? And guess what? The body is our whole way of being. It's not just body is feeling and thinking. It creates our environment, if we believe it. Now, if we believe our environment is controlling our thought, guess what? You're stuck. You're right there. You're at the mercy of everything out there that says something, and we can change that thought. If you want to create a new experience, you have to change your thought that you're thinking and your behaviors, your way of living, your way of being. Even the people you're hanging out with or the stuff that you're reading, whatever it is, if you want to think beyond it, think something new. Introduce some new thoughts we step into our greater selves and move beyond our limitations when we're experiencing something new. It's more than the same old, same old. The brain begins to work differently when we start introducing new ideas and new thoughts and new concepts and new ways. Think about when you go to the gym. Some of us may not even go to the gym, but if you did go to the gym and you were lifting weights, right? At first, when you lift those weights, they are darn heavy, and your muscles going, ew, yuck. But after a while, when you keep doing it, you start building, and your body comes used to it, and the synapses begin to change differently. I developed this thing, and I'll try to show you. I didn't even know what it was, and my chiropractor said, it's called trigger finger. I'm like, what? And he goes, yeah, your tendons are tense, so you've just got to massage those. So he was massaging them, and I was screaming, and I said, okay, I'm going to practice, so when I come back next week, this will be gone. And I said, you know what? What is it that I need to think about? Am I too rigid about some thinking? Am I too stuck in a way about something? What is it that I need to think about? What message is this thumb bringing to me? And we can all ask ourselves that of anything that's going on in our life. Just look at it and say, what's the message here? What do I need to hear that I haven't been hearing? I mean, sometimes we get so fixated on our thoughts and the way we're going to respond to stuff. It's like, what's a new option here? What's something else? What's another way I can respond that it's a win-win for all of us? How do I do that? The moment you begin to feel and think a certain way, you begin to think and feel. So you think, and then you feel, and then you feel, and then you think, right? And then you think, and then you feel, and you feel, and then you think, and you think, and then you feel. And then it becomes what? You're on the spin cycle, right? All of a sudden you're on the spin cycle. You think the way you feel the way you think the way you feel, and nothing changes, right? Because you keep thinking the same old thoughts. So the way to stop it is introduce a new thought, introduce a new concept, see it in a different way. And the moment that we do that, things will change. Things will open up. Lainey goes to her doctor and says, you know what? We're going to pray about it. The doctor said, we're going to pray about it. And he said, God's in charge, right? And the moment that they did that, what happened? You surrender over. You surrender over the need to control everything and have it all turn out the way you wanted it to do. I don't know about you. Anybody else here a control freak? Nope. Nobody in this room is a control freak. Okay. I mean, because we think we have to control everything. All you need to control is where you're directing your mind. You may want to think positively, but you feel negative. You may want things to go swell, but you're looking at it and it stinks. Guess what? The moment you keep assessing that everything is awful and you start to awfulize everything, what happens? You get more of the awfulizing, right? So you can't go, oh, love this diagnosis. This is pure joy. No, it's not about that. You just say, what's the lesson here? And I know I can shift whatever it is that I want to shift. I listened to a story during the week of Wayne Dyer, and he was talking to his daughter. And his daughter was 8 years old, and she had the appearance of, they called them flat warts, and they were on her face, all around her face. And beautiful little girl, but she had these warts. And they kept going to all these doctors, and the doctors would say, don't worry, as she gets older, they will go away. And the little girl was like, well, I won't be older for a long time, and I want them to go away now. So this one guy sat down and talked to her, and he happened to be a kahuna in Hawaii, by the way. And kahunas are called knowers, right? I love that. They're called knowers. And the kahuna said, you know how you deal with it? He goes, talk to the flat warts. Talk to them and tell them you're done, that you're over. Thank you for the message. Thank you for the awareness, and you're done. So Wayne Dyer was like, okay, my daughter's 8. I don't know how much she's going to deal with this, but okay, let's, whatever. So he said at night, he would go to say goodnight to her, and she was under the sheets with a flashlight on, and he said, honey, time to go to bed. What's going on? She goes, shh, Dad, I'm talking to my warts. Don't bother me. And he was like, okay. And she was under there with a mirror and a flashlight looking at her face and talking to it. He said, God's honest truth. He goes, within 2 weeks, every single one of those warts were gone. Every single one was gone and never came back. And he said she took it to heart, and she took it to, this knower said, you can know a different outcome. Now, I don't know about you, but I've known several people that literally were in stage 4 cancer. And actually, I'm on a Zoom group with a group of people, and the one woman shared with us, she goes, oh, I've had 2 stage 4 cancers and survived both. I'm like, you are kidding me. You're going to share that in our class next week. And she said, yeah. And she goes, yeah, I just practice what we teach here. I just practice my knowing. And the deal is can we be restricted by things? Yes, we can. And what restricts us? What restricts us? Our mind, right? And what's our mind? It's our thinking, it's our feeling, and it's our way of being. Now, it's also a result of, you got everybody out there telling you all this bad stuff that's going to happen, right? So we let that in, and guess what? Now all of a sudden we poisoned the well. Now all of a sudden it's like hard to think positive when 50 people are telling you, it's pretty bad news. But guess what? That's what you do. There's a beautiful saying, I never liked it, and now I know it. It's you tell the truth to the lie. You tell the truth to the lie. And the lie is, you're not perfect, whole, and complete. Guess what? You are perfect, whole, and complete. You absolutely are. And you have to see beyond here and see from up here. See from the God vantage point, right? We have to recondition our body, our feeling, to a new thought, our mind, and we have to know that we have the ability to create a new experience. Now that may sound kind of kooky, but we have to believe that we can do it, right? We have to believe that it's possible. Now, maybe knowing people that have survived whatever, it's a good reminder to go, hey, this too shall pass. This too shall pass. My dear friend Marty always had that lovely saying, it's just nothing trying to be something. And that's all you have to do. It's just nothing trying to be something. Isn't that interesting? And I'm not going to let that something impact me. Universal mind responds to what you are being, not what you're thinking. You may have all the affirmations in the world. It's not going to respond to what you're thinking. It's going to respond to what you're being. It's a combination of what you're thinking and feeling. That's what your being is, right? So most people wait for that crisis to make a change. But guess what? We don't have to wait for a crisis, do we? We can stop ourselves in our track right now and remind ourselves we're in charge of our life, not anything out there, making them not go on the way they've been. We can learn and change in a state of joy and inspiration. We don't have to wait for a crisis. We can change from joy. The hardest part of all of this is making the time to do it. The hardest part of all of this is making the time to do it, taking the time to meditate, to get mindful, to practice just being, to going out in nature and just listening to the sounds of nature and just being present. Because most of us are either forward or backward thinking. Most of us aren't in this space of now. And the moment we're in that space of now, all things are possible. All things are possible. But if we're future thinking or backward thinking, guess what? We've controlled it. So again, how do we do it? Through daily reflection, through meditation, standing back from our thoughts and starting to realize the patterns and say, isn't that interesting how I respond to that, to maybe that situation or that person or that idea, and maybe I just need to shift it. Maybe I just need to allow a different result. Wayne Dyer calls it rewriting our agreement with reality. Isn't that lovely? You can make that affirmation. I am rewriting my agreement with reality today, and I am declaring that all things work for my highest good. And the moment you do that, you've set yourself in that energy frequency of all good. You step out of your own way and you allow the goodness of God, the goodness of spirit, the goodness of that oneness to permeate and penetrate all of your thoughts, all of your being, and direct you into a great way. So how about if we do some of affirmations? I am one with the divine. How about looking at your neighbor? You are one with the divine. I am guided by divine right action. I begin my day by affirming divine right action. My highest good is always unfolding. I now consciously create my ideal life. How about with a little vim and vigor? I consciously create my ideal life. I mean, if you were going to tell somebody, Lainey, I'm consciously creating my ideal life, wouldn't you be like, yippee? And she'd be going, oh, yay, me too, right? Wouldn't she be doing that? Okay, I consciously am creating my ideal life. I am successful in every area of my life. God's in charge. And so it is. Okay, and so it is. All right, that's it. Thank you. I have a song for us that I love that this thing has an arrow for the power because otherwise I wouldn't know. A friend of mine recorded the backdrop music on this, and this is a song by a woman named India Ari, and it's called I Am Light. I am light, I I am not the things my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. 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 I am not the snakes I have made, all of the things that cause me pain. I am not the pieces of the dreams I left behind. I am light. 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 I am not the color of my eyes. I am not my skin on the outside. I am not my age. I am not my race. My soul inside is all light. I am light. I am divinity defined. I am God on the inside. I am the star, a piece of it all. I am light. I am light. Isn't that a cool song? I can sing that. I've been singing that all week to myself, and it's a good reminder. I am light. Okay, this is the time of our offertory, and we're going to share our affirmation, which is on the left-hand side of our page, which says, Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to bless, and to prosper all those who give and all those who receive. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I joyously contribute to the vision of this spiritual center, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And our song is, I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so thankful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so thankful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so thankful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so thankful. I am so blessed. And so we give great thanks right here and now for this beautiful collection, this sharing of our good, and knowing that it comes back to us multiplied tenfold. We are knowing that we are blessed in every way, in thought, in deed, in word, in idea, in abundance in all ways. And we give thanks for it, and so it is. Okay, now before we leave for that yummy meal, we're going to have our prayer, closing prayer. And remember, we have prayer circle up at the front. And so I'll wait for Rita to get back. And this is what I know for each and every one of us here. And I know it in the first person as I speak these words. There is a power for good in the universe, and I know that to be God, my God source, my divine creative intelligence that lives, moves, and has its being as me. I am one with this power, and it is one with me. And all the attributes that I know of God are the attributes that I embody. And so I lift my consciousness now to be aware, to create new thoughts, to be in that frequency of success, to know that the power of God is the power that impels me to do great things, to know great healing, great abundance, great security, great understanding, great peace in my life. And so as I breathe in, I let go of anything that is unlike this truth. I open myself up to the awareness that I remain in this state of positive awareness, a sense of peace and kindness, a sense of goodness and love, a sense of security that I feel about my life and where I'm going. And so I know this truth right here and right now, and I allow it to be my truth, not just the truth. It is my personal truth. It is with great gratitude that I accept this understanding. I accept this way of being. I accept this knowing and feeling. And I let it be so. And I know that as I speak this word, I speak it into the law of mind, which is God in action, creating this divine experience. I am open, I am ready, I surrender, I allow, and I let it be so. And together we say, and so it is. And so it is. And now we'll have our peace song.